Well, I got my tit in a ringer for a video I made last week about a construction nightmare. A law firm contacted me and told me that I had to take that video down. Alright, I'm here with, these guys are technically my competition, but I'm going to help you guys out. And so I did, but now I'm going to put that video back up. I'm going to take out all the legal mumbo jumbo in the video, and I'm going to blur the faces of anybody and everybody because the message is very strong in this video. It's a message to consumers on how to hire a contractor, and it's a message to contractors how to represent yourself to consumers. So let's get started. There's a difference between a qualified contractor and a cheap contractor. There's a market for both. But the problem is a lot of cheap contractors market themselves as qualified contractors when they're not. It's okay to be inexpensive, but it's not okay to mislead consumers into believing they're paying for more skills than you maybe possibly have. Today's project is a great example of exactly that. I'm going to describe this job for you. It was rebuilding a retaining wall, but this retaining wall could not possibly be rebuilt on the exact same spot under any circumstances. This retaining wall was here, there was a building here, and this retaining wall held up the building and held up the driveway. The reason it wasn't possible to rebuild this failed retaining wall in the exact same spot is because you couldn't get drainage aggregate behind it, you couldn't get geogrid reinforcement beneath the existing structures. These structures were putting pressure onto this retaining wall. That's called a surcharge. It's a technical term, but it's a way of evaluating how to design this retaining wall. Without removing a garage and without removing a driveway, the only possible way to build this retaining wall is very simply move it out. So I'm here on a site that I visited about a year ago. These timber retaining walls have utterly failed. Move it away from the structures and you eliminate the surcharge. It's a simple design change, but it's something that only comes from years of experience. What you're going to see in today's video is I meet with my competition while they're actually building this retaining wall. Technically these guys are my competition, but I'm going to help them out. We were talking about what they got to do to correct this thing, and I help them through the process of understanding how to better design and build this retaining wall. They don't have any base material in at this point, so they're going to have to unfortunately remove what they've already done and start back over again so they can get 6 inches of base material in, plus they don't have enough room for their drainage aggregate behind the retaining wall. They're going to be bumping the wall out so they can get the right amount of drainage material in. A number of very basic mistakes are occurring in this video and on this job site. Number one, absolutely no base aggregate. Number two, no drainage aggregate. They planned on backfilling with existing on-site soils. Number three, not compensating for the weight of the structures. Number four, not compensating for the excess water that was going to be directed at that retaining wall. It's 200 pounds per square foot, guys. So the formula is 200 pounds per square foot divided by 2,000, because then you got to know how many tons to bring in. So that's how you calc the wall, and that includes enough for the base material. So you have 264 square feet times 200 divided by 2,000. That's how you figure out how many tons of material you need for a retaining wall. Guys, you need 26.4 tons of 3/4 inch rock to do this job the right way. They were going to core fill with this on-site soils. If they did that, this wall would have failed probably within 1 or 2 seasons. So a couple little keys to keep you guys on the right track. This was a for sure failure for two parties. The parties that were involved in paying for the retaining wall to be replaced, and the contractor himself. If this contractor proceeded with this plan, he would have been in big trouble. If you're a contractor and you're just getting started and you don't have all the answers, I don't want that to stop you. But I do want you to understand that you need to represent that to the consumer. There's going to be plenty of projects where you get to practice on, the consumer gets a break in price, and you get to sharpen your skills. It's an important way of starting out, but there's job sites that you should plain and simply not be practicing on. This was one of those cases. There's a market for inexpensive contractors. There's people that just plain and simply can't afford for the skills and qualifications of having somebody that knows what they're doing come out and do a project for them. Consumers, the best thing you can possibly do is to ask questions. If you do not know you're getting an inexperienced contractor, apples to apples and oranges to oranges is the way to go. Get multiple bids and ask questions. Write down a list of questions that you think may be relevant, and then ask each of the contractors and look for the answers, and more importantly, look for the answers that they offer you without you asking questions. What does that mean? If they're willing to share more knowledge, give you more examples of ways to do things right, that's a sure sign that you're getting someone that's qualified. Now, if you're looking for the bottom dollar on a project, you're going to get what you pay for, and that's okay as long as you're willing to accept a contractor that may be learning on your job site. And when you hire a contractor to come out on your job site, and if the price seems too good to be true, there's probably a reason. Final wrap up. Contractors, you may not have all the answers, and that's okay. Just make sure you represent that to the consumer. There's still a market for your services because there's people that just don't have the funds to hire a qualified, skilled contractor. And consumers, when you are looking at hiring a contractor and you were worried about the person that you're thinking about hiring, ask questions, get multiple bids, write down a list of things that you want to know, and look for the answers in between the lines. That's going to help you choose from a good, skilled, qualified contractor and someone that may not have all the qualifications, can talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. Look for those answers in between the lines. God bless. Go get them. Okay, before we get into... Oh, I hope it's not going to be one of those days again. The neighbors are right over there. They can see me. Awkward. She's in her bathrobe in her kitchen. That's a behind the scenes you just don't want. I can't make a story like today's up. I can't make a story like today's up. I really can't, because I don't know what to say next. It is the ultimate tale of bad neighbors, court cases, and not winning every bit. Oh, that's actually pretty good. I don't know how to end this video, kitty. Maybe I'll end it with you sticking your nose right in the camera. Who's a good kitty? I'm a good kitty. He found me from a woodpile. The family loves me. I come and go as I please. I get to go out into the woods all night long, and then I come in the house, and they give me treats. Yes, they give me lots of love, and that's why I like to escape, because he has 4 kids. Yeah, sometimes he forgets how many kids he has. I don't even know where to go with this. I don't know if I've got even 3 minutes of good footage so far.